I'm trying to look at it now. It's not set up quite intuitively. I couldn't. They're messed up, and I tried to reset, and I couldn't. I mean, it says reset, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. So I gave up. I'm not going to sit back here because I'll just distract you. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be over by the door.
person leader. So.
She is this morning, actually. Give it up for Nikki. Here we go! Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Yay! Welcome. Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Congregation at White Plains. I'm Nikki Clemens. My pronouns are she, her. I'll be your worship associate this morning. With open hearts and minds, we covenant together to shape our congregation with love, acceptance, patience, and respect. In relationship, we covenant to explore life's questions across all generations. We covenant to work together for justice in our world and to serve our community, to pledge as we can to our CUUC community. In relationship, we covenant to call ourselves to account to one another and to engage in dialogue so that we hear, we are heard, and we better understand. We hold ourselves to these ideals, and each day we begin again with love. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. We're glad to see you here this morning. Those watching online can find an order of service on our website, cuucwp.org. If you're new and visiting online, please take a moment to click the link in the chat and fill out the visitor form and let us know how you'd like to be connected with us. If you're new and visiting in person, we invite you to stop by the welcome table and say hello. Part of being in community is sharing our lives with each other. Those present will be invited to share a joy or sorrow aloud later in our service. For those on Zoom, please follow the prompts that are in the chat. For those of you here in person, remember to silence your phones before we start. It is good to be together. And finally, welcome back, Reverend Danielle. We're glad you're back with us this morning.
It's good to be home. It's good to be home. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can we do it again? Good morning.
Good morning.
I am the Reverend Danielle Lindstrom. My pronouns are she, hers. I am honored to be the minister here at Community Unitarian Universalist Congregation. And beloveds, it is good to be together. Our chalice lighting / opening words for 5,000 years or more by the Reverend Matthew Johnson. For 5,000 years or more. More than 250 generations, human beings have been invoking spiritual power. My predecessors and yours have gathered together to make sense of their lives and their place in the cosmos. And they have spoken aloud and invited what they conceived as sacred and powerful to be with them. They called upon the spirits of air and earth, fire and water. They called the bear and the deer. They asked for the raven to protect them. They pleaded for the heroes of old to slay the monsters of their fears. They sang songs they learned from their grandparents and moved in the appointed ways, or in ways that were new but felt like the right thing to do. And they gave power to these spirits and to the memories of those heroes. They called them gods, and they were invoked. Vishnu and Kali, Elohim, Odin, and 100 million others. Every group of people, everywhere. They gathered to make sense of their lives and to make sense of their place in the cosmos. And they called these spirits to be present with them. And so do we. We gather this morning to make sense of ourselves and this universe in which we live as best we are able to. And we call ourselves to worship together, and we invoke the power and the wonder of life itself. That to which all those spirits of animals and memories of heroes pointed the way. We invoke that power, which is, we know, always around, always with us, but which sometimes we forget about. We forget that we are part of the whole of creation. We forget that we are stardust. We forget that we are capable of miracles, first among them, that we can love. We forget these things, so we invoke the power of existence, so that we can remember, so that we can lift our eyes and open our ears to what is true and beautiful. For 5,000 years or more, we have done this in many tongues, in many ways. We have done this. And so we continue that ancient tradition in our way and in our time. And so let us now worship together. Amen. I invite you now to rise in body, spirit, join in singing hymn number 389. We just heard a little bit of it. 389, gathered here. We're going to just sing this straight through 3 times. So we are all storytellers. Yes? That's what we do. If we listen at coffee hour, you will hear story after story after story. Sometimes the same story told again in love with new emphasis. So I want to play a little bit together this morning, if that's all right. Has anybody done the game where you tell a story line by line? Have we done that before? Probably. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to, we need a setting. What's a good setting for our story? Something outside, maybe a little more specific? The zoo. I heard the zoo. Okay, so we are ready. We're at the zoo right now. And what's happening at the zoo?
Animals got loose.
The animals got loose at the zoo. All right. Not exactly Unitarian specific, but sure. All right, so we are at the zoo, and the animals got loose. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell this story line by line. So if you would like to play, I'll ask that you raise your hand. All right, and you will be invited to tell one line of the story. No semicolons, no colons, maximum 2 commas. All right? Are we ready? We're ready to play? Okay. So once upon a time, I thought I would visit the Bronx Zoo. It was a perfect day. It was a little rainy. I thought the animals would be so active. A little too active this day. All of a sudden, we heard over the loud system, "Nobody panic, but the animals have escaped." Immediately, raise your hand if you want to play.
Freaked out.
Right, freaked out.
And looked for the nearest exit. But miraculously, the animals started marching in a parade.
And the bears came up and wanted their heads scratched.
So I scratched them.
But I looked to the side and there was one little penguin that looked really sad.
Sad penguin. Oh no, sad penguin. Okay.
And I went looking for the elephants.
Ignoring the sad penguin, we have 2 options. There's an elephant and a sad penguin. All right, where are we gonna go?
So I invited the penguin to come along.
All right. Oh, we're gonna go back here. Okay.
To get ice cream.
One of the lions said, "I hear the tourists are very tender here."
Uh-oh, the lions are hungry.
The elephants started offering rides.
I wish I could take a penguin home. They make good pets, I hear.
I sighed with relief when I heard another lion say, "Nah, New Yorkers are too tough."
But the penguin was still sad because what the penguin really wanted to do was tap dance.
What else? We have a tap dancing penguin.
Thankfully, I had a pair of tap shoes in my backpack.
So I started singing and dancing, and all the animals joined in.
Except for one rhino, which Derek had caught by the horns.
Derek, you've been called out. What do you do? Call by name.
I caught the rhino by the horn and led it to a safe space because it was not playing well with the other animals.
Miraculously, the zookeeper knew that once every animal started singing, "You Are My Sunshine," as a group, everyone came back together. So in In a few seconds, everyone started singing, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine." You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Enough, said the zookeeper.
And with that, let us all say the end. The end. So I'm curious, in our fabulous story, did you hear any Unitarian Universalist values?
Safe spaces for rhinos.
Interconnectedness, safe space, we create safe spaces for rhinos and others. You don't have to go it alone.
Inclusion when the elephant and the penguin and the person all went together.
Inclusion when the elephant and the penguin and the person all went together. Randomly breaking out into song. Anything else from our story that just says, yep, that's the UUs at the zoo? We create stories together. Sometimes it is with games, sometimes with Mad Libs, sometimes literally bringing different voices, different perspectives into the space. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a gift. Our gift is that each moment has the potential to inform our spiritual understanding of our world. Even at the zoo, when chaos could have broken out, we thought about our UU values. What are we called to do? What are we called to create? We know each other a little better after our story, our imagining together. Part of what we do, beloveds, is play and create and wonder and laugh. Part of our spiritual work is to share these stories with one another. So thank you, dear storytellers. Thank you for playing and creating something that only we, in this moment, could have created. So great job, storytellers!
As people of faith, we are called to build peace and justice, understanding that violence diminishes others. Here we learn compassion and cultivate inner peace. Our shared love strengthens the foundation for a joy and peaceful world for everyone. This summer, we're sharing the plate with Unirondack, one of a small number of UU mission-centered camps and retreat centers here in the Northeast region. They offer youth, young adult, and intergenerational programming. There are many ways you can share your donation here in the room, the donation button on our website, the QR code on the paper order of service, or make out a check to CUUC with the memo, Share the Plate Camp. Thank you for your kindness, your compassion, and your commitment to making CUUC and the world a better place. Your support truly does make a difference in this world.
Will you take a deep breath with me? We enter into this time in our service, into this space where we center our hearts, our minds, our bodies on that which is most sacred. A place where your loneliness is accompanied by a great mystery, where you place your trust. Sometimes our joys and sometimes our sorrows are close on our heart, and we're just not in that space to share them out loud. So let's take just a moment, a pause, honoring that which remains, that which is on the hearts of our beloveds that are joining us online. We'll do just a moment, and then we'll say one last time, we hold you in our love. We hold you in our love. Spirit of life, great mystery that I trust, named or unnamed, known or unknown, it is good to be together. We share in the lives of those gathered here and those gathered online, all those in the shared experience of being human. In this moment, the primary moral response must begin with anguished hearts in the face of such a large-scale human tragedy. We join with our interfaith siblings in sharing a demand that food and humanitarian aid be brought into Gaza, and to do everything that can be done to prevent the number of deaths. To let the humanitarian agencies do their work, to bring back hostages and to end the war. We lift in our love and in our hearts victims of violence, especially in New York City and in Reno, in Traverse City, too many places to name. We lift into this love Go Yeon Soo, who is a graduate of Scarsdale High School, a student at Purdue, and was taken by ICE after a routine court hearing. Having legal status, authorities bypassed all legal procedures and took her. We share our love, our outrage and broken hearts at our neighbors being taken from the streets, and beloveds, we will not be quiet. There is information about vigils here on the table. In this shared sacred space, this space for sharing stories and healing, supportive listening, deep care and gratitude, may we remember that, beloveds, we are not hopeless. We are not alone. Rather, it is our call to do what we can, when we can, where we can, to love this world boldly, even when the news wants us to believe it doesn't deserve it. To love this world boldly because each of us, each person is holy. Each person is sacred and worthy of our love. We are all in this together, this interdependent web of existence, brought together by hope, held together by love. If you'll join me in another moment of quiet, this time to pray what is on your heart, to meditate, or to dream. We'll share this moment of quiet, and then we will sing hymn number 123, our sung prayer, Spirit of Life. Will you join me in this quiet?
The reading this morning is called The Storyteller by Mike Jones. I'm a teller of tales, a spinner of yarns, a weaver of dreams, and a liar. I'll teach you some stories to tell your friends. While sitting at home by the fire, you may not believe everything that I say, but there's one thing I'll tell you that's true. For my stories were given as presents to me, and now they are my gifts to you. My stories are as old as the mountains and the rivers that flow through the land they were born in. They were told in the homes of peasants in rags and kings with fine clothing adoring. There's no need for silver or gold in great store, for a tale becomes richer with the telling. And as long as each listener has a pair of good ears, it matters not where they are dwelling. A story well told can lift up your heart and help you forget all your sorrows. It can give you strength and the courage to stand and face all your troubles tomorrow. For there's wisdom and wit, beauty and charm. There's laughter, and sometimes there's tears. But when the story is over and the spell is broken, you find that there's nothing to fear. My stories were learned in my grandparents' home, where their grandparents also had heard them. They were given as payment by traveling folk for a warm place to lay down their burdens. My stories are ageless. They never grow old. With each telling, they are born anew. And when my story is ended, I'll still be alive in the tales that I've given to you.
Be very quiet.
quiet. We don't want to scare it. Don't everyone look at once, but do you see the slime monster that is coming through that vent right now? Do you see it sliding down the walls? There it is, green and blobby. You can just make out a head shape, maybe arms, tentacles. It's making its way to the front of the room, and it is lighting a candle. And now it is moving, sliding towards the pulpit, and seems to be giving a very emphatic sermon. Look at its arms, gesturing wildly. I hope that is not what I look like. He seems to be bowing his head blob now, so maybe the sermon is finished. Oh, he's singing. An arm blob over the heart. That must be the benediction. And now he is heading back to the grate from which he came. The slime monster was an important figure in my childhood. He always seemed to appear when I was with my mother, usually in some beige waiting room, always with uncomfortable metal chairs. We were doing something dull, like waiting for our number to be called at the DMV, or something a little scary, like waiting at the doctor's office. We would be sitting together, and she would lean over and whisper, "Look at the grate. Here comes the slime monster." We are storytellers. It is our human nature, something that connects us to generations before us, before them, before them. Perhaps we've always just wanted to entertain children. But I don't think that's all, because who doesn't love a good story? It is stories that help us create shared experience, shared meaning, lessons, and possibility. Psychologist Jerome Brunner offers that people are 20 times more likely to remember a part of a story compared to facts alone. And we know this, right? How many times have we said, "I don't remember their name," the fact, "but I remember they have 2 cats, an aunt in California, and their favorite food is macaroni and cheese." A story invites us in, grabs the listener's attention. Where are the places that resonate with me? Macaroni and cheese is also my favorite food. Where are those shared experiences? How would I react to what is happening around me? I might have said something differently or done something. How will I tell the story next time? The slime monster was bivocational. When I asked my mother the purpose, first, his role was to entertain a 6-year-old with an overactive imagination. And more importantly, the slime monster would help set expectations for what we were going to do. If we were at the doctor's office, the slime monster would slide down the wall, put on the stethoscope, and check his heartbeat. Put on the blood pressure cuff, use the tongue depressor. Then, when it was our turn to be called back into the room, my mother would say, Remember when the slime monster checked his heart?" It was a way to talk through what was going to happen, helping me be a little less nervous and entertaining us both while we were waiting. All of the fear still there, but lessened. I mean, after all, if a slime monster can do it, certainly I could too. From our reading, there's wisdom and wit, beauty and charm, there's laughter and sometimes tears. But when the story is over and the spell is broken, you'll find there's nothing to fear. I was asked once, If Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition, what do you feed it? We call our tradition a living tradition because we say this a lot, revelation is not sealed, right? We know that we are constantly growing and changing and learning and adapting, and so our tradition should live and grow and change and adapt with us. So they asked, what do you feed a living tradition? And this was meant to be sarcastic. It was meant to prove a point. From their perspective, right, the perspective of revelation is sealed. If revelation is sealed, and all of it, all of religious truth has already been shared, then it cannot be contaminated by human touch today. We know the dangers of bad interpretation of Scripture. But there is a truth in this question, what do we feed a living tradition? We can feed our tradition stories based on exceptionalism, based in the human condition that is destined to get better and better no matter what work we do or don't do. We could. Or stories of the triumph of individualism that keeps us believing we can do anything, make any difference, make any change alone. We could. Or we could feed it a hopeful optimism that doesn't leave room to name honestly how devastating and terrifying this moment is. That doesn't hold space for honesty, pain, heartbreak, and suffering, that people are starving and our country is complicit, that neighbors are being taken off our street, that every morning someone here is having an impossible day, an impossible week, an impossible year, facing the unimaginable, or at least the downright awful. We can feed it stories that rush to offer the salve, the balm of it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It just will be. When what's needed is not the balm of optimism, but the space to be honest. With trust that honesty will be helped and cared for here. Or we can feed it stories that focus on keeping those already inside of it comfortable, not pushing too hard. How will we feed our tradition if all of our donors leave? It is tempting to feed our tradition these stories. Some of them even taste good. They're delicious. Or at least, if nothing else, they are easier to digest. So it becomes our collective and individual responsibility to consider the stories, the values that we share as part of our living tradition. It becomes a responsibility to feed our tradition stories that nourish it well, that help it expand its understanding to be more open, more accepting, and more affirming, that help us expand our understanding, that loves the questions as much and more than simple answers, that invites us to sit in our discomfort because we know that growth happens at the edge of our comfort, to help us to be more welcoming and understanding, affirming, committed, and just a little more filled up, a little less hungry. For an undernourished tradition leaves us hungry often for something we can't quite name. Historically, we thought the answer was to just pare things down a bit. In UU Theology in 10 Minutes, the Reverend Matthew Johnson, who did our opening words this morning, he talks about sacraments. He describes a sacrament as a visible sign of the holy in our world. Catholics have 7 sacraments: baptism, confirmation, I wrote them down, Eucharist, penance, anointing of sick, holy orders, matrimony. Lutherans have 3 or 4, depending. Calvinists, 2, baptism and communion. Unitarians, we went down to 0 sacraments. None. Our sanctuaries were boxes with white walls. No sacraments whatsoever. But something interesting happened. Any guesses?
Glitter blessings.
Glitter blessings happened.
Flower ceremony.
Chalice, flower ceremony. Water ceremony. When we went down to 0 sacraments, he writes, everything becomes sacramental. When nothing is sacred, everything can then be sacred. Nothing in particular is a manifestation of the holy, therefore everything actually can be. He offers each person becomes holy, every single person, and our emphasis then becomes the condition of our relationships with one another. How are you treating the sacred, the holy, the person in front of you? The person across the room, the person across the world. It informs how we practice this tradition. So we take in the sacred that is each of us, the sacred in nature, the sacred in each moment, the sacredness of our favorite song that just gets right to our heart, right? That poem, that story, that artwork, we take it all in. And here, Reverend Matthew Johnson offers us a metaphor. In his book, Newborn Bards, A Theology of Preaching for UUs, he writes, our tradition is shaped like an hourglass. Quoting from his book, we gather many inputs that come in from religious texts and our beloved rituals, the lives of great people, literature, justice work, nature. We take in all of this beauty and truth and curiosity and wonder. And then together, in the middle, part of what we do on Sunday mornings, part of what we do in journey groups, our small group ministry, what we do in our committee meetings, what we do in conversation with one another. He writes, in the middle, all of this input is placed through the crucible of intersubjective reasoning by peers and the living tradition, which we affiliate as UUs. It's all placed, he offers, through shared understanding, contemplation, and meaning-making. At the core, we are each invited and provoked by the wondrous, the fragile, and sacred universe in which we live. Outward towards lives of participation. For then the hourglass widens as we embrace a diversity of interconnected ways of being, that we might participate in the loving community, living in harmony, justice work, art. A lot comes in. A lot comes in, and we pass it through our values, our beliefs. We share our ideas in conversation with one another in worship, and then we widen again as we hold space for all of the wonder, for all of our truths, our ideas, our questions, which all sound different. We use different language to express them, but held together in the sacredness of this life. United in our affirmation of this world and how we go out into it. And through this embrace of diversity, of interconnected ways of being the loving community, through our justice work, we create heaven and hell on earth for each other. The statement is one of my favorite ways that I've heard universalism expressed. We create heaven and hell on earth for each other. A story an example. It's easier to remember stories. I shared this during our congregational year, but I really want to share it here again. This is from our religious education tapestry of faith materials. Long ago, there lived an old woman who had a wish. She wished more than anything to see for herself the difference between heaven and hell. The monks in the temple agreed to grant her request. They put a blindfold around her eyes and said, "First, you shall see hell." When the blindfold was removed, the old woman was standing at the entrance to a great dining hall. The hall was full of round tables, each piled high with the most delicious foods you could imagine. Meats and vegetables, fruits, breads, desserts of all kinds. The smell. Oh, the smell. The woman noticed that in hell there were people seated around those round tables. She saw that their bodies were thin. Their faces were gaunt and creased with frustration. Each person held a spoon. And the spoons must have been about 3 feet long. They were so long that the people in hell, they could reach the food on the platters, but they just couldn't quite bring it back to their mouths. As the old woman watched, she heard their hungry, desperate cries, "I've seen enough. Please let me see heaven." So again, the blindfold was put around her eyes. And the old woman heard, "Now you shall see heaven." When the blindfold was removed, the old woman was confused. For there she stood again at the entrance of a great dining hall, filled with round tables piled high with the same lavish feast. And again she saw there were people sitting around the tables with these 3-foot-long spoons, just out of reach of the food. But as she looked closer, she noticed that the people in heaven were plump and had rosy, happy faces. As she watched, a joyous sound of laughter filled the air, and soon the old woman was laughing too, for she now understood the difference between heaven and hell for herself. The people in heaven were using those long spoons to feed each other. I love this story because it is our values. In the story, in heaven and hell, the conditions are exactly the same. No one is given a better deal in the story. No one was given an advantage for being in heaven or disadvantage for being in hell. They were, in fact, creating heaven and hell for each other. There is nothing that said those in hell couldn't start feeding one another. They chose not to. And in the depiction of heaven, they shed that sense of self-reliance and fed one another until they were full and happy. A call to take care of one another. Support and center love and justice and relationship. Each person is holy, every moment holy. We choose how we tell our stories. Notice how you tell the story of your life. What are your themes? How are your values informing your next moment? What are the stories you will pass down? With each telling, they are born anew, and when the story is ended, I'll still be alive in the tales I've given to you. We are all storytellers, meaning makers, children of the holy, of stardust. We invoke that power which is, we know, always around, always with us, but which we sometimes forget about. We forget that we are part of the whole of creation. We forget that we are stardust. We forget that we are capable of miracles, first among them that we can love. We forget these things. And so we take the moment to invoke the power of existence so that we can remember, so that we can lift our eyes and open our hearts to the true and to the beautiful. Shh. Be very quiet. We don't want to scare it. Don't look now. Do you see? The slime monster's coming back. Coming through a vent in the ceiling. It looks like he's looking for the coffee pot. He's making a mess of things over there. Oh, he says he's gesturing. He'll clean it up, not to worry. Waving for all of us to join him. He must be ready for that time of fellowship and conversation. Just a minute, we have one more hymn to sing. Will you rise in body and spirit? Join in singing hymn number 346. Come sing a song with me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Your presence here and online is truly a gift. For those of you here in Fellowship Hall, please join us for refreshments and conversation after the service. If your children are in childcare, please pick them up first. You can leave your chairs where they are, return the hymnals to the cart, and drop your name tag in the lobby basket when you leave the building. Stay connected with our community throughout the week by checking out our e-communitarian newsletter for details of upcoming activities. You can find a link on our website, and paper copies are in the lobby. It's been a joy to share this time with you this morning. After our chalice lighting and benediction, please take a moment to connect with somebody new. Enjoy some parting music and head over for some refreshments. And may we all know the blessings of friendship. Our chalice extinguishing the words this morning are by Amanda Alice Ullahan. Together, we have enjoyed the warmth and beauty of stories of this flame and of this special community. As our chalice flame is extinguished this morning, we can remember that its glow is carried within us. We can use our inner light and this flame to kindle new sparks throughout our lives and in the world. May the spirit of peace and togetherness bless your lives.
If we can take a moment for gratitude, how wonderful is it to see Georgiana this morning? Thank you, Georgiana, for being with us. And thank you, Terry, for being our impromptu hymn leader this morning, president who wears so many hats. It is good to be together. Our service is over. Oh, it's been a little while since I've said that. It is our worship that is over. Our service begins. Go now, beloveds. Go now, storytellers. Go now, children of Stardust. Share your love, your light with those you meet until we return again. Amen and blessed be.